Rather than lads, welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy, and we are back again on transfer deadline day. We're gonna be discussing all the deals that are done today and a couple of days before, deals that are getting done, right about now. Deals are actually flying, and clubs are really signing players. Clubs are still trying to sign players as much as they can, right? So we're gonna be discussing. We're gonna be moving into that just a moment ago. I've seen a couple of transfer done deals really that we're going to react to. Arsenal still trying to I mean, it's a mess. It's a mess. It's a mess with Arsenal because that deal for Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang looks like it has collapsed. And if it has collapsed, then does that mean Arsenal do not get in anyone? And that's why I've named this, the transfer deadline show all done deals. We're gonna be diving much into, we're gonna be diving much into all the stories today. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, whether you're a United fan, whether it's Spurs fan. I would love to get your thoughts. I'd love to know what you think about your club in this window. And basically, that is how we're going to be moving. We're going to be getting your reactions. We are rating your clubs. So we're going to be rating your clubs. We're going to look at the details, and then we rate your clubs. But I need your ratings. We will start with Arsenal. We'll go into in alphabetical order, especially with the big clubs, because I know this channel, United, probably Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, those are the clubs you care for. So we'll be diving into that. And obviously tomorrow we'll do a grading of the transfer window, who won the transfer window and who lost the transfer window in the transfer window review. Right, so smash the like button, people, and tell me, how satisfied are you? That's the big question. How satisfied are you with this window? Because we're going to be diving right into it. Right, so lads, there we are. I mean, all preparations are done. Let's start the job. Let's get to work. Let's start off with Arsenal. At the moment, I'll start off by clearing out a couple of breaking stories so that we can actually be on the same page. A couple of breaking stories. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, that deal, as confirmed by David Ornstein from the Athletic, that deal has broken down. Yeah, that deal for Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang to Barcelona has broken down. But even before we get to that, let me just retweet this so that we can keep tabs. But even before we get to that, Sky have actually put out a very interesting story. Very interesting story. And let's get there. Sky, where you don't waste much of our time. Don't waste much of our time. We need to get to these stories and this stuff, but interesting stuff in the last couple of hours, right? Very interesting stuff in the last couple of hours, right? So let's start off with Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. I mean, yeah, there we are. David Ornstein, Barcelona Arsenal talks for Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang loan have broken down over salary. 32-year-old returning to London from what is said to have been a family trip to Spain, to the Spanish city. Unless FC Barcelona find major money, it is off for now. Right. So, if you remember in the last live stream we've done, Aubameyang flew. Aubameyang had gone to Spain. With hope that this deal is going to be finalized. However, it looks like that is not the case. It looks like talks have actually broken down over salary. Now, like I reported first earlier, Barcelona wanted to cover a huge portion of the wages, and so did Arsenal. However, Barca, we know the problems, we know the financial predicament in which they are, and the salary cap. It is really difficult. Now, a couple of reports had actually come out and said the Barcelona are willing. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang was willing to agree to what you would call, or what you would have termed as a pay cut and he was going to be earning 100,000 per week until the end. Now, that is not the case. I think there were negotiations between the two clubs to find a way of how they can pay the salaries of Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, but also to to find ways of paying to find a structure of paying those wages across a 6-month period. Now, I think Arsenal wanted Barcelona to pay a huge part of that. Because of course he's not going to be playing with Arsenal, and his time with Arsenal is over. So probably they thought maybe they could just go for that, and that is why talks have actually broken down. Now, according to Sky, Aubameyang's trip to Barcelona has actually surprised Arsenal Football Club. This is interesting. I mean, if there's been a club as disorganized as Arsenal in the last 1 month, there is no club. 1 goal in all the games we played. We're trying to offload our leading goal scorer. We're not trying to sign in a striker. We've failed at signing in a striker. We've had midfield issues, and we failed to get a midfielder. And on top of that, all the midfield targets that we've wanted have actually been taken away by clubs that you think we could have beaten them, hands down, if we were serious, right? So this is the story from from Sky, and they're saying Arsenal are very, very surprised Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang has arrived in Barcelona before the deal has been agreed. Sky Sports has been told, right? And if you look at what they've written here, is that Arsenal surprised Aubameyang arrived in Barcelona, and they're saying, okay, let's read this. Let's get to read this because it's a long story. So let's get to read it. But interestingly, I mean, this is the worst kind of disorder your club can have. This is the worst scenario of disorder your club can have. I mean, how does it happen? How the hell does it happen? Of course, we're going to be diving into much of the done deals, but I'm looking at that. I'm looking for that Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang story here on Sky, on Sky's timeline. All right, can I find it? It looks like they just made it a thumbnail. They didn't even write much about it, but they've broken it on Twitter. They're confirming that Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang's arrival in Barcelona was not permitted by Arsenal, and they're very surprised that the player actually went there. Now, on top of that, also reports have indicated that Barcelona have scheduled medicals. With another player who is not Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, right? So they've actually scheduled medicals at the Barcelona hospital, but the player that is going to do medicals is not Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. And this is according to the Sport. They've said Barcelona has set itself the goal of signing a centre forward before the end of the transfer window. It seems that Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang option is failing due to economic differences between all the parties of the operation. So that is confirmed there, by the Sport. Of course, the Sport had really given us that update, earlier that Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, there was a total agreement, and even David Onstein from the Athletic had confirmed that we were nearing an agreement between both parties, but it looks like that one has failed for now, at least for now. So Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang returning to London, it is not a done deal, right? Aubameyang is not a done deal. But moving on to done deals, let's go to Fabrizio Romano's page. And I think with Romano, I think it's a very, very, very busy day for him. Very, very busy day to him. First story, there you have Dele Alli moving to Everton. Dele Alli to Everton is a done deal. And here we go. Full agreement reached with Tottenham Hotspur. Permanent move subject to medical in the next few hours. It is done. Frank Lampard wanted Dele after Donny van de Beek. Official announcement later today. Right, of course, with Arsenal transfers, I'll be getting back there, and we'll be discussing much about Arsenal. Anything coming up, we'll be going back to Arsenal, because this channel is mainly Arsenal, as you people will understand. But honestly, lads, with Dele Alli, I think it's a good signing. I don't know whether many people will agree with me, but good signing for Everton. Frank Lampard, of course, he's gonna find, he's gonna face a very, very difficult time, at Everton, finding in those, right signings, in the last few hours. Not easy. But I don't know if they have finished Donny van de Beek, or I've seen that, is a deal that they have been trying to do. If they can't do Donny van de Beek, brilliant deal in the midfield, and then they get in Dele Alli. Dele Alli, for me, it's a game of numbers, having bodies that are fit to play for the club. I don't know whether Dele Alli is going to be that kind of player that features regularly for Frank Lampard, but at least we can confirm that Frank Lampard has signed Dele Alli as new as new Everton boss. What do you think about that? Do you think it's a good deal? I mean, just be open-minded. Yes, there is kind of frustration, but let's be very, very open-minded and look at other teams. Is it one where you think, yeah, it's a good one, or is it one where you think now it's not a good one? Look, Everton, because they did numbers, I think they've already started off their transfer window on a very, very bad note, letting go of Lucas Digne, one of the best players in that position in the league. So, I mean, they needed to make it better. For me, Donny and Dele Alli would see their window become better than that of Arsenal. So that is confirmed as well. Dele Alli, Spurs, confirmed by the man himself, my man Fabrizio Romano. So that's a done deal. Moving on to what is happening elsewhere, in regards to Fabrizio Romano as well. Let's look at this tweet coming out and saying Hugo Ekitike deal has collapsed. Newcastle are now pushing on Jesse Lingard in the final hours of deadline day. West Ham still interested too. It's up to Manchester United to decide the player wants to leave right now. So that is also flying in. I mean, it's been a bit of a mess between United and those clubs interested in Jesse Lingard, one player that I really, really want to take at Arsenal. But I think the demands of Manchester United here is what we are looking at as blocking this deal, because they are literally ridiculous. Right? They want a €6 million loan fee for a player whose contract is running down in the summer. Like, come on. Yes, you're desperate, but losing him for free in the summer and getting 1 million or 2 million, because Rangnick has already told the player that you will be leaving. I mean, you need to leave. Today, Jesse went over there to Rangnick, asked him for permission to leave the club. And of course, yet again, the situation has been the same. He's told him, you can leave Arsenal Football Club. You can go on. I'm okay with you leaving the club. And very interesting stuff, lads. Very, very, very interesting stuff when it comes to Jesse Lingard. Look, I've told you this, lads, time on, time again. I'll take Jesse Lingard to Arsenal. He's one player that I would really, really love at Arsenal. Not because he's a very, very quality player, but in terms of having those numbers, in terms of having bodies around. And I think in the final third, where Arsenal will be looking for quality, honestly, let's be honest, right? We are looking for more quality. We're looking for numbers in the final third. Why don't we do that? In my opinion, why didn't we just do that? Like, get Jesse Lingard, pay 1 or 2 million euros for him, and probably we could start. Yes, he's 28, so I mean, probably if it could be the wages. It could be the wages if he's asking for maybe ridiculous wages. But apart from that, it's a deal that I thought Arsenal could have done. Just a Lingard. But I think it's a very, very good move for Newcastle, because Newcastle just need those kind of players that can affect and cause lots of effect in the final third. Just imagine if Newcastle have Alan St. Maximin, then Jesse Lingard, then Ryan Fraser, and then Wood up front. Or even if it's not Wood, they would have in that aspect, they would have Callum Wilson, who for me I think is better than Chris Wood. And then in the pivot they have Shelby and they have Shelby and Bruno Guimaraes. That is fantastic. That is a fantastic. I mean, that is elevation. Remember, they have also signed in Dan Ban. Of course, he's their former player. They've signed in Dan Ban at centre back. They brought in Kieran Trippier as well. I think they could have gotten a goalkeeper if they wanted. I thought they should have gotten a goalkeeper, but that is massively elevating. And of course, if in regards to West Ham, if Jesse Lingard moves to West Ham, again, that's a very, very good deal. Because think about it, lads. He's been there. He's done very well. And this West Ham side are really looking at Europa League football. With all due respect, they're looking at Europa League football. They're looking at maybe the top four is an overstretched ambition, which you should actually aim at, hitting the sky. Then you hit the ego. Then it's aiming at the ego, and you hit the rock. But if West Ham are seriously thinking we need to be in this top 4 race, we need to be in this top 5 race, they need more quality. They just need players to be available, because you never know what's going to happen. And I think they've done it. You have the likes of Jared Bowen starting for you. You have the likes of Pablo Fornals. Benrahma will be coming back from AFCON, and then you have Manuel Lanzini, who's done very well. In that number 10 role, you have Mikel Antonio. All you need is a player probably coming off the bench, and that's why I think it's a sensible one. Yeah, it's a good one, right? We can't we can't say it's not a good one. It's a good one, just a Lingard. And of course, the player himself will be getting out of prison. That's it. But we have an interesting one here regarding Arsenal, because we have lost a player in Dejan Kulusevski to Spurs. 10 million euros loan fee for 1 year and a half. That is what they wanted as Juve. 10 million euros, obligation to buy for 35 million euros under certain conditions. That is UCL stroke appearances, buy option clause available for 35 million euros. Potential 35 million euro clause would be paid in 5 installments. That is according to Fabrizio Romano, and he's actually put out a very interesting one below this. So let's get here. Here it is. There we are. There you are. Official confirmed. Dejan Kulusevski joins Tottenham from Juventus. Club statement announces Fabio Paratici has his boy back together with him. Look, for Arsenal fans, this is what is you need to know, and I'm gonna be very, very vocal about this. We failed to do this deal, right? Because it was an 18-month loan. So literally, Arsenal telling us that they failed to do this deal because they were unsure of the player. And what I don't understand with that is Kulusevski is a very young player. So he's one that works for the short run, for the short run, and in the long run. So if Arsenal at some point in time wanted and believed Kulusevski can be part of this massively young project that is really doing well, why? Why not commit to the way Spurs have committed? Why not commit to that 35 million euro price tag? Why? If the budget was not available in January, get him on loan, 18 months, because this is what Tottenham Hotspur have done, and you give them massive credit. You really, really give them massive credit. What they've done is they've gone and signed the player on an 18-month long-term basis. That means he will be available for them for the whole of next year and the whole of this season, half season. Then that is 10 million, right? If they decide to buy him, they'll pay an extra 35 million euros across a period of 5 years. I think, yeah, you might feel a little bit cheated, but Kulusevski was one who was never going to come to because he's a talent. He's a really, really, really good talent. And if you look at what Arsenal need in that squad, players like Kulusevski are not there. I want you guys to envision that Burnley draw. When we shared points with Burnley, what didn't we have? We didn't have a player like Dusan Kulusevski. The kind of players that just create something out of the blue. We kept on doing the basics. Saka doing the basics. Martinelli doing the basics. Odegaard doing the basics. But you needed someone to come off the bench. And you know who come off the bench? It was Emile Smith-Rowe off the pitch and Nketiah off the bench. There's nothing there. That is not quality coming on. That actually it was reduction in quality, because if you look at the last 10 minutes of Emile Smith-Rowe on that game, for me he was the spark. He was making those brave runs in behind, making those brave runs into the box, shooting. Of course, the quality chance we had in that game came from Emile Smith-Rowe. Yeah, it came from Emile Smith-Rowe. And like I said, put it wide of the mark in a position where I thought no striker does that. But not even that, lads. Not even that, lad. What is interesting is that Emile Smith-Rowe, the only chance you feel like he was going in, he was the man that made that beautiful run. And it was from corner, and Odegaard, Odegaard puts it, and Smith-Rowe makes it. So putting off Smith-Rowe and bringing on Eddie Nketiah was, we played into the hands of Burnley, because Burnley was like, okay, you brought in another usual one, I think it was just another one, because they defended Alexander Lacazette so well, and then you bring Eddie Nketiah, they were having a laugh, yeah. They were having a laugh. So for me, this is a massive signing for Spurs. It's a massive, massive signing, because look, they already have Harry Kane, who we know if you give him the chance, he's going to score. They have Son up there. They just needed someone. They have Lucas Moura, who's doing very well under the new manager Antonio Conte. Now they've added Dusan Kulusevski, and not only that, lads, they've also brought in someone else. And this time it's on a permanent. But this one, Arsenal, I'm disappointed. Arsenal, I'm very, very, very disappointed. It's one where I thought we could have done better, honestly. With that one, it's one where I thought we could have done better. Now, Spurs, of course, in the other done deals, official and confirmed Rodrigo Bentancur, or Rodrigo Bentancur, as I prefer to call him, Bentancur, joins Tottenham on a permanent deal. Statement confirms as well. Juventus will receive 90 million plus 6 million euros add-ons, as previously reported. Boca Juniors will receive 30% of this deal. And, people, many Arsenal fans must be tuning in here. This is an Arsenal corner, predominantly. But let's think about this before we rate our teams. Because, honestly, why Arsenal failed to sign players in January, the answer is lack of ambition. No other excuse. Lack of ambition. There is nothing else. There is no excuse for me as to why Arsenal have failed. Lack of ambition. Apart from that, give me a reason in the comment section. Because for me, why I say lack of ambition, Spurs have struggled this window. They are, haven't they? They have struggled to get the targets, their primary targets, because if you still remember very well, the players they wanted, right? The players they wanted were very, very far away from the players they've signed. They wanted to get in Luis Diaz. You lads still remember very well. They wanted to get in Luis Diaz. That deal collapsed. That deal didn't actually go through. It didn't go through. But they wanted that deal. It eventually collapsed. Luis Diaz headed to Liverpool. Frustration. They wanted Adama Traore, and somehow, a financially bedridden Barcelona, a financially broken FC Barcelona signed Adama Traore, like beating Tottenham. Another cause of frustration was, isn't there? Another big cause of frustration. But can you imagine, in the last 48 hours, Spurs have signed in 2 players from Juventus. Arsenal previously linked with both players. Players that play in that role where Arsenal need players, because Kulusevski wanted by Arsenal, and can't explain why it did not happen. Can't really explain why it didn't happen. Then you also have Rodrigo Bentancur, who is also on sale. Because remember when I said, lads, that Juve's primary target in this window was getting a super striker, getting a super midfielder. Zakaria has gone to Juve. Dusan Vlahovic has gone to Juve. They've done it. They've achieved it. And in return, they would let the likes of Ramsey go. Ramsey has gone to Rangers. They would let the likes of Bentancur go. He's gone to Spurs. They would let the likes of Kulusevski go. He has gone to Spurs. And Arsenal, when they heard that, we ran in like mad dogs. We ran in. Oh, give us Arthur Melo. Oh, give us Kulusevski. Oh, give us Rodrigo Bentancur. How have Spurs then signed 2 players within a space of 48 hours? It's ambition. They've been more ambitious. You've got to give them the credit then. Yeah, you've got to give them the credit. They've been more ambitious than us in this window. Those are super signings. Those are very, very good signings. Maybe not a window where many Spurs fans will be happy with their club, but at least they have started. They have shown Antonio Conte that look, we are willing to back you. Don't just mock away like you always do. This time, we are serious and we want to back you. And they have done it. Congratulations, Spurs. Honestly, as an Arsenal fan, I shouldn't be saying that. But I've decided I need to be that kind of football fan that looks at things in a very, very different angle, right? Very different angle. Right. In the other Den deals, if we continue scrolling through, make sure you hit the like button, and thanks everybody for joining in. There is this official and confirmed. Tanguy Ndombele joins Olympic Lyon on loan from Tottenham, including an option to buy, not mandatory, for 65 million euros. Ndombele for 65 million euros. It's interesting. It's interesting. I didn't expect that, honestly. But I think with Spurs getting in Rodrigo Bentancur, then Ndombele could look to move on. I think that was the initial plan. They've actually done it. Official confirmed as well. Romain Favre has joined Olympic Lyon on a permanent move from Brest, 15 million euros plus bonuses, signed and sealed. Obviously, he comes in as that kind of a replacement to Bruno Guimaraes, who's gone to Newcastle. Modern deals to be discussed. This one is where Arsenal fans are also concerned. Aaron Ramsey from Juventus to Rangers. Done deal, and here we go. Agreement on loan with buy option will sign in the coming hours. Rangers will cover part of Ramsey's salary, and this is one I would really ask Arsenal fans about in the chat. Do you think maybe rather than no one, because it's a window where I didn't expect to reach this point of saying rather than no one, but do you think that rather than no one, right? Rather than no one, Arsenal could have gone for Ramsey. I mean, let me know, lads. Let me know, and I'm going to pick up some some of your comments. Do you think it's one it's one of those windows where you like, rather than no one, my club, my team should have gone for Ramsey. Should Arsenal have gone for Ramsey? Because the reason I rejected Ramsey, the reason as why I said Ramsey, no to Ramsey, it was primarily, right? It was primarily because I looked at his age, I looked at the manner in which he moved, and I looked at the direction in which Arsenal were moving, and I was pretty much convinced. I'm not even gonna lie, lads. I was pretty much convinced that, I think Arsenal have started going back to those, going back to those days where we are doing deals with sense. We are doing lots of deals with sense. So I was like, no, this Ramsey deal, don't do it. No, don't do it. But after realizing now that Arsenal could bring in no one, I mean, I've got to ask you lads then, do you think it is one where you would have said, Arsenal, get in Ramsey. If you fail to get in anyone, get Ramsey now. Get in Ramsey. Because what we needed was a central midfielder. So is it one where you would call Ramsey? Is it one where you would just call in Ramsey? I would love to know. I would really, really love to know. Is it one where you would compromise the project, bring in Ramsey for 6 months, and then at the end of the season, you kick him out? Let me know, right? Because he's gone to Rangers now. Honestly, I don't think Ramsey is under any pressure. He just needs to keep himself fit and playing football so that he can actually, keep on playing. Keep on fit so that he can play in the World Cup. So I don't see any any kind of panic on the side of Aaron Ramsey. I don't see any kind of panic for Aaron Ramsey. But Arsenal fans, is this one where you would say let Ramsey come? Arsenal, would you say we have failed terribly in this window? We have failed terribly. Let Aaron Ramsey come back. Is it one where you would say that? Right? Is it one where you would swallow your pride and bring back, allow Aaron Ramsey leave? Because and the conditions under which he left the club were not that good. Breaking news, just a bit of breaking news that I would love to share with you. No transfers, really, but sad news again. I mean, really, really sad news. I've covered this on 99 Sport. Breaking news: all Mason Greenwood merchandise has been removed from Manchester United website. So it's getting bitter and bitter for Mason Greenwood. We are not going to discuss it, so don't ask me about any more information about that. Don't ask me about any more information about that. But it's difficult times for Mason Greenwood. But let's move back to transfers. So Ramsey, Arsenal fans, let me know whether that one is one you would you would just say, I will do it. I'll bring him back. Any more done deals? Of course, we talked about Julian Alvarez signing for Manchester City. That one is done and dusted. Frank Lampard also today has been officially confirmed as Everton new manager. My thoughts on that will be on 99 Sport tomorrow. Frank Lampard joins Everton as new manager, and what I think about that. So not really a new signing, right? Not really a new signing. So in terms of new signings, that is the bit of business that is happening right about now. Arsenal still trending, but nothing is coming out at the moment. Looks like all the deals we've tried to do as Arsenal Football Club have been very, very, very difficult. So then we need to move to that point where we look at all the done deals and then rate the windows of these big clubs, because it's been interesting where clubs that you thought needed more didn't do anything, and clubs that needed less actually did business. I mean, it's weird. Should I say it's bizarre? Like Liverpool, 2 new signings. City, 1 new signing. Arsenal, 1 that will not join them. United, as things stand, none, losing players or only losing players. Spurs 2. Yeah, Spurs 2. And I think Spurs needed more than that. So we'd really want to know. We'd really want to know, where you stand on all this, right? So we're gonna be, we'll be rating your club's transfers, transfer windows later on. Are you a footballer? This is according to June. Am I a footballer? I'm a basketballer, really. Peter says Ramsey will not push Arsenal in in position 4. Now, I was only asking, I was only asking if you would take him rather than no one else. That was my question. Like, would you take him rather than no one else? I'm not saying is he the man that should be coming in, ahead of Ruben Neves or ahead of Douglas Luiz, but would you have taken him? Because now, as confirmed in the previous hours, Aston Villa do not expect Douglas Luiz to leave in the final hours of the transfer window. Ruben Neves as well is not expected to leave. So I think for Villa, they've been great in this window to an extent that they've kept what is important to them and went out again. They kept what was important to them, because Luiz, I think, is important, and the likes of Ollie Watkins that have been attracting attention. And after that, they said, no, look, we will even go out there and add more quality. They've done well. They've really, really done well. They were looking for Bissouma. They were looking at Bissouma. And the window is not even over. But they've been looking at Bissouma. So it's one where you've got to give Villa lots of credit. So I'm not saying Ramsey would take Arsenal 2 top 4. But I'm saying, is he one you would do? Is he one you would take if no one else? That was my primary concern. That was it. David says, what's Arsenal waiting for? Well, difficult question for me to answer there. My man says, "Cossy, you're a machine. Give good news." Look, I want to give good news to Arsenal fans. I want to say ABCD is close, but at the moment, no one is close, honestly. Ramsey will not push Arsenal to top 4. We've seen that. James Sire says, do we go on sign a striker now? Auba is back. I think our transfer hopes for a striker have taken a huge blow. They've taken a huge blow, right? They've taken a huge blow at the moment. I'm sorry to say, right? I'm sorry to say, right? So look, I'm sorry to say, but I don't know where, because we'll talk about this tomorrow when a couple of days later, when all this has actually cooled down. Now, what I don't know here is, does this mean Aubameyang gets back to the squad? But for me, the fact that Aubameyang flew out to Barcelona even before the deal was agreed, it shows you he doesn't want to be here. Yeah, he doesn't want to be here. He wants to be somewhere else. He wants to be somewhere. He wants to be somewhere else. He doesn't want to be here. This is not the place where he wants to be, right? Because he went out, right? He went out even before a deal was agreed. He went out. It was like, let me go. I got to go, right? I got to go. It's one where you've got to be concerned whether Arsenal will put him back in the squad. And we will wait for that. We'll wait, because transfers have not ended. So Do Arsenal expect any drama? No. I mean, drama has been there because Aubameyang moves to Barcelona for a medical examination and now has to fly back because the medical examination has actually been cancelled, right? So no. Anything regarding Arsenal in terms of done deals or anything? At the moment, I'm reporting live. Not yet. Not yet. But I'll keep you posted. Right, lads. Many of you have said no to Ramsey. Eric says, we are jokers. We can't finish in top 4, bro. I said that when we drew to Burnley. I said, for me, top 4 is gone. And the reason is when I looked at Arsenal side, it reminded me of the semi-final against Villarreal. If you still remember that semi-final, let no one lie to you. We were them favorites, right? We were them favorites there, and we bottled it, right? We played, we partnered with Coca-Cola to do a bottling job. I mean, we love bottle jobs, but when that Burnley result was another, bottling event. Look, is Arsenal off the top 4 run completely? No, because we are playing one game a week. And that means there is hope that probably we can pick up as more points as other clubs that are playing in Europe. But if you look at our, that corner, yes, United is still in Europe. West Ham are still in the Europa League, I think. Spurs are out of Europe, and that top 4 place can only be taken by one team. Unless Chelsea do nonsense. I don't expect that. So, can Arsenal beat Spurs to that spot, really, lads? Can Arsenal beat Spurs to that spot? A Spurs with Conte, a Spurs that with a lot of belief, a Spurs that has done business. Can we do that? Be very interesting to see. It'll be very interesting to see. But lots of butter jobs from Arsenal. Lots and lots of butter jobs from this team, honestly, lads. Not Ramsey, that's according to Dison. Not for Arsenal, Geoffrey. I mean, butter jobs everywhere, everywhere. Butter jobs. Arsenal want to clean the team first before they bring in quality players in the summer. Is that the case? That, lads, Arsenal fans, in the comments box below, let me know. David says, please, what's the most likely possible signing for Arsenal today? And look, that is desperate. And I don't want on this channel. I'm on both my channels actually. What I'm trying to create is that kind of atmosphere where we don't go, very, very desperate. Breaking news, Dale, and here we go. Reino Mandava joins Atletico Madrid immediately. Reports agreement in place with Lille to let him leave. That is according to Fabrizio Romano. Bit of breaking news. That has also happened. That has also happened. So it is a done deal. But so is it one where Arsenal fans will be like, let us wait for the summer? Because for me, whether Arsenal sign in anyone or not, we the fans will wait for the summer. We'll wait for the next transfer window. So is it one where Arsenal have gone, let us clear the house, let us clear and sweep under the bed, because Chambers out is a good deal on a permanent. Kolasinac out on a permanent is a good deal. Pablo Mari on loan, probably will want to leave in the summer, is a good deal. Mainsley leaving, if only he was if only he was replaced, it's a good deal, right? Those are good deals. They are good deals, but weakening your side. So, are we cleaning the squad at the expense of the strength of the club, of the squad? I mean, maybe if you're saying that, then okay, we will understand. respectively, we will understand, because Arsenal, Arsenal fans, that's what we do. We do we do understand. Hello, Samuel from Silarion. How are you doing, Samuel? Hope you're doing well. David says, please, what's the most likely signing? Ousmane Dembele is more better compared to Raul Di Thomas. Raul is a striker. Dembele is a winger. They all play on the forward line, but it would be a bit harsh to compare them. Yeah, a little bit harsh. It would be a little bit harsh, in my opinion. Arsenal have had so many deals done in terms of outgoings. Let me take you there. And this is where we begin, lads. This is where I begin to rate the transfer windows of these clubs. So Arsenal, in terms of incomings, you would say no one, because at the moment no player has joined the club. But Matt Turner is a done deal. He will be joining us in the summer. But away from that, we have sold Callum Chambers to Aston Villa, 3.5-year contract, undisclosed fee. Harry Clark to Hibernian on loan. Ainsley Martinez to Roma on loan. Florian Balogun to Middlesbrough on loan. Dejan Ilev contract terminated. Sid Kolasinac has gone to Marseille for free. Brooke Northcafe has gone to Lincoln City on loan. Pablo Mari to Udinese on loan. Carl Hain to Reading on loan. Tyrese John Jews to Sheffield Wednesday on loan. And Ryan Alebosu has gone to Crewe Alexandria on loan. So the question lies here: how do you rate Arsenal's window? In terms of outgoings, they've really done brilliantly well, very, very well, because that this is creating lots of space, breathing space on the on the wage bill, but also you're looking at space for new players to come in the summer, because I expect in the summer more players will have to leave. I anticipate Xhaka might leave in the summer. I expect Cedric and Elneny will be leaving in the summer. Leno will be leaving in the summer as well. So more players will be moving out. The likes of Lacazette and the likes of Eddie Nketiah will be leaving in the summer. So this is an exodus, right? This is kind of an exodus that Arsenal have decided to go for. Is it one where you think it's working, right? Is it that kind of exodus where where you go, yes, Cossy, it is working out? Because for me, rating Arsenal out of 10. Let us rate Arsenal out of 10. Rate the Arsenal window out of 10. Rate the Arsenal window out of 10. Out of 10, neither striker didn't come in. Neither the central midfielder didn't come in. It's a difficult one. But look, I'm gonna go with a 4.5. 4.5. The work they've done to create breathing space on the wage bill, and the work they've done to create that kind of free space for that kind of guarantee for summer signings. 4.5 out of 10. Could have been better. Arsenal, they know. No, they missed out on every target, so it could have been better there. Aston Villa, like you can see, Digne completed. So Villa, in terms of incomings, and this is where Arsenal fans, will be disgusted, because a club like Villa have actually done business. Brought in Filippo Coutinho on loan, who I think has already started. Lucas Digne has already started. That's a bargain for 25 million. Robin Olsen from Roma on loan as well. Callum Chambers, it's not for free, like it's being reported. I don't know if it's free, but here Talksport want to say it's free. Is it one where it's free? I don't know. But Callum Chambers has joined them as well. Carl Smith from Dundee and Laurie Barry from Swindon. Right. And if you look at their outgoings, they have also done, and this is where I think Arsenal have really made a mess of this window. And why I think so is look at the amount of deals, look at the amount of transfer dealings that Everton have done. They brought in so many players, but they've also had the time to get rid of players. Because how many of these? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 players have actually gone down. So Aston Villa, for me, 8 out of 10. Done very well, in terms of the window. We'll come back to Arsenal. Brentford, a couple of other, a couple of players have gone out. But incomings, Christian Eriksen for free, and Jonas Loss from Midtjylland. But I think the focus for Brentford will be this man here. Christian Eriksen. That would be the focus, because at some point in time they needed someone in. They needed that kind of that bit of creativity, and finding it in Eriksen. That's good. That's good business. Brighton and Hove Albion. Bad window. They've had a bad window. I think with Brighton, what they've done is they've kept Bissouma, and they've kept all the players that they would have loved to keep. They've let go of just a moment. I want to be sure here. I don't see Dan Ban here, but he's one that has actually gone out to Newcastle. But for me, Brighton, they needed a striker. They needed a striker, and they've not done that. They should have done that. They needed a striker. They know that. They've been struggling to score goals. Danny Welbeck has been leading that line, but they needed a striker. They've not got it. For Brighton, I'll rate them even lower than Arsenal. I'll give them a 4 out of 10. Burnley, they've lost Chris Wood to Newcastle. And then they've gone out and got Wout Weghorst from Wolfsburg for 12 million. I'll give them a 5 out of 10. Chelsea, in terms of incomings, I don't think it's one where Chelsea really needed much very, very much in terms of incomings. I don't think Chelsea fans will be disgusted by this window. So we could give it, Chelsea, just maybe 5. Yeah, maybe 5. I don't think they really need much. Crystal Palace, Killian Phillips, undisclosed has come in, and then Joshua, Ade has also come in. They wanted Donny van der Beek. I'm still thinking. I'm still thinking whether Calvin Phillips, whether Donny van der Beek alongside Conor Gallagher would have been one of the best pairings in the midfield if he had seen it. But we didn't get a chance to see that, or at least not yet. Everton coming in, Anwar El Ghazi, Nathan Patterson, and then Vitaly Mikolenko have come in. They've lost Lucas Digne. I think if you look at the signings they've made, and now they brought in Dele Alli as well, and I think they will be on the verge of bringing in Donny van der Beek. But if they bring in Donny van der Beek and Dele Alli, it improves their incomings. But losing Lucas Digne is terrible. Yeah, for me, it's terrible. So I'll give them 4.5. 4.5 out of 10. 4.5. Now, the Donny van der Beek one would be interesting. Maybe raise that to a 5, but I'm not really impressed there. Leeds, one signing from Espanyol, that is Mateo Fernandez. 2 outgoings, not a very fantastic window for them. Especially, looking at the fact that they have been struggling. Yeah, looking at the fact that they've been struggling, I don't think it's a very, very good window for them. They needed some, they needed to give Marcelo Bielsa some reinforcements. One, I will give them a 3. I thought they would, they would try to get in some reinforcements. Leicester have not brought in anyone, but Leicester did very, very good business in the window. Did they need really in the midfield? They have numbers up front. They have numbers now. I probably could have done 1, maybe 1, but not really bad. Not really bad. Window for them. I doubt they really needed in anyone. So maybe a 4 out of 10. Liverpool. Luis Diaz, lads. Luis Diaz, that lad on your screen, has gone to Liverpool. what January transfer window, because this one was going to Spurs, and he was Liverpool's priority for the summer. So what they decided to do is, we are going to sign him up, right? We are going to sign him up earlier than the summer. 45 million euros on the table. Liverpool, massive business. 9 out of 10, lads. Yeah, 9 of 10 out of 10. A couple of players out, but for me, Liverpool 9 out of 10. They've really done very well. All right, let's check for some new updates. As we've got to keep ourselves posted. If there is anything new at the moment, I don't see anything. No, yeah. At the moment, I don't see anything, especially in regards to transfers on Arsenal. Maybe Romano has said Arsenal made clear to Aubameyang a few minutes ago they have no intention to collaborate or pay part of his salary for Barca. It's up to Barca and Aubameyang to find a solution, or it is collapsed. And Dembele is not going to Arsenal. Ridiculous. We'll get back to this. Let's retweet it. Let's retweet that. We'll get back to that. So back to the other done deals. Manchester City have also done very well. They brought in Julian Alvarez on 15 million from Liverpool. And then he's been loaned back. But I think it's one for the future. Next season we'll see him. So regarding that, City don't need anyone now. Yes, you thought they need a striker. You thought they would have gone for a striker. But I think they're in that zone where they feel comfortable. Yeah, they're in that zone where they feel very, very comfortable. So City, I'll give them a 7 out of 10. Even when they didn't need to really pressurize themselves to sign in anyone, they've done so. Manchester United, Anthony Martial has gone out. Teden Menchi has gone out. Exo Twenzebe has gone out. Amad Diallo has gone out. And Brice Devin has gone out. A couple of other outgoings are expected for Manchester United, and that will include Dele did I say Dele Alli? Jesse Lingard and Donny van de Beek. We expect those to be going out. So United have not brought in anyone. They desperately needed a midfielder. So United, honestly, 4. Yeah, it's a 4 for Manchester United. They've not really done very well. Newcastle, I think they're the kings of the window. Yeah, they're the kings of the window. Bruno Guimaraes, Chris Wood, Kieran Trippier, Jesse Lingard it could be on the way if nothing collapses. If the deal doesn't collapse, he could be on the way. They've literally signed a player in every department. They've also signed in Dan Burn. So 5 players in January for a club that is struggling with with relegation stress. 9 out of 10. Yeah, 9 out of 10. You could even give them a 10 out of 10. It's only that their demands have been so many. Norwich, for me, 0 out of 10. Norwich 0. They needed incomings. I'm not seeing any there. So 0 out of 10. Southampton, they're not in that. They're not in that situation where they shouldn't be bringing in anyone. I think they should have made some signings around 2 or 3. 0 out of 10 for Norwich, but with Southampton, you'd give them a 3. Yeah, I could give them a 3. Spurs, we know now. In the recent hours, they brought in 2 players confirmed from Juve. So with Spurs, I would give them a 6. Yeah, they've done better than Arsenal. I'll give them Kulusevski and Bentancur. I'll give them a 6. I'll really give them a 6. Watford's no one in, and Watford keep on sacking their managers. Oh, they brought in players. Sorry, they've kept on sacking their managers, hoping to stay up. Could this be a chance for them to stay up? If you look at the numbers, the number of players they brought in, they brought in Samuel from Udinese. They brought in Maduka Okoye from Sparta Rotterdam. They brought in Nicolas Nkolu, unattached. They brought in Hassan Kamara from Nice. They brought in Edu Kayembe from Eupen, and they also brought in Samuel Kalu from Bordeaux. Big sign, many signings for Watford. I think in that relegation battle, there are 2 clubs that have convinced me that they want to stay up, and that is Watford. And their ambition is actually very, very far-fetched, because for them, they're even sacking the managers. And then the other club that has really shown me that they want to stay up desperately is Newcastle. Let's wait and see if they can do that. West Ham, in terms of incomings, they have Callum Marshall, and they're trying to get in. They're also trying to get in. They're also trying to get in. Jesse Lingard. Hopefully that that goes down. Wolves have lost Traore here, and you can see they brought in Hwan Hee Chan, Leipzig, 14 million, and also have brought in Hayao Kwabe, Grasshoppers, undisclosed, and then loaned him back. They've also brought in Chiquinho from Estoril. I mean, how they already signed someone from Portugal. Right. So Wolves, yeah, they've been doing well. And I think it's one window where they won't be that disgusted. So you could give them a 5.5. You never know. I mean, they just need to keep on doing well. But this is where the focus is. Arsenal. Incomings, not anyone yet. Right? Incomings for Arsenal, not anyone yet. How do you feel? Right? How do you feel? Not anyone yet for Arsenal. Right? I will scroll again. Arsenal fans really want an update, and I really need one desperately. I don't want even to lie. I desperately need one. So if we can try to find something new, anything new, Romano, anything new? You can see the training pictures of Arsenal players as we edge closer and closer back to business. Closing. We are closing back to business, but you can see training pictures. This is Gabriel. This is Martinelli there. I wish I could see a couple of others. I wish I could show you a couple of others. Okay. Your party there as well. Right. Your party there as well. So it's business for Arsenal. It just looks like business as usual. Honestly, it looks like business as usual. Yeah. No. It's business as usual for Arsenal. Nothing confirmed as for now. Nothing confirmed. Yeah, we are having those transfer spaces coming up. Really. This is Mundo Deportivo. Mundo Deportivo saying that Alexander Isak has trained today, completely obvious to the rumors coming from England regarding Arsenal's interest in signing him. So Isak, part of that Real Sociedad thing. So it looks like there is nothing in there. Okay, anything else at the moment? Nothing. Yeah. At the moment, nothing. So the next up, we're going to be discussing this. Arsenal make it clear to Barcelona that they won't be paying any part of his Aubameyang wages. How ridiculous! How ridiculous! We're going to be we're going to be looking at that very, very soon. Right, lads. What do you think? We looked at every club's club's business. Do you think this is where Arsenal can get to top 4? Do you think this is where your club, I mean, all other teams, do you think you've done well? And do you think your club, if you're surviving relegation, do you think your club will survive relegation? And if your target is to win the title, do you think you will win the title? And if your target is to stay in the top 4, in and around the top 4, do you think your club will remain in the top 4 and stay in the top 4? Arsenal fans, because this is a predominantly Arsenal channel, will be Arsenal will be the point of discussion, and the other stories around other clubs will be peripheral, right? So I mean, there's some comments there in the comments box, and I'm gonna be joining you to pick them up. But Arsenal, they have made it clear that they will not be paying any part of Aubameyang's wages. Ash, what does this mean? What is this? What is Arsenal trying to do? Right? What is Arsenal trying to do? Because look, lads, honestly, this is one I don't understand, and this was one where I think I will never understand. You know why? Arsenal have Arsenal have banished. Arsenal have banished Aubameyang. You know, that shows he won't be part of our that means he won't be part of our, he won't be part of our team doing the basics. Aubameyang has found himself a club, and that is FC Barcelona. And you thought, right? And you thought this is where Arsenal would be supportive, pay some, because if he stays around, and this is what I don't understand. If he stays around, we pay all of his wages. Right? If he stays around, we pay all of his wages. If he goes to Barcelona, we pay part of his wages. Is there a way back for Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang and Arsenal? I don't think so. What are they trying to do there? What exactly is what is the issue? What is the issue? Because I don't understand. I don't understand, really. I do not understand. Are we trying to block Aubameyang's move? If that is the case, because for me, saying that you're not paying any part, it's like, look, it's like having to pay rent in a house you don't live in, and you're paying rent there, for that house. And then someone comes and like, okay, I'm going to be using part of this house, but I'll be paying half and you'll be paying half. And then you're like, no, I won't be paying anything. And then the person says, okay, you can have your house, pay the full price. Like, you're not using the facility. That is, but does this mean Arsenal have rethought and be like, okay, Auba will be now, playing with us? Is that it? Because if it's not, I don't get it. I do not get it. I'm not even going to lie, lads. I do not get it. But in terms of the done deals, lads, breaking news and all the done deals that we are looking at, Ramsey, heading over there to Rangers from Juve. Rangers will be covering parts of the wages of the player. That is confirmed, done and dusted. Spurs have confirmed the signing of two players from Juve, and that is Rodrigo Bentancur as well as Dejan Kulusevski. United not bringing anyone, Chelsea not bringing anyone at the moment. Liverpool signing Luis Diaz, 45 million euros. That is confirmed and completed. Dele Alli to Everton. That is confirmed and completed as well. Donny van de Beek could be on his way to Everton. That is still there. Just Lingard to Newcastle. A bit of breaking news. It shows that United and the board are unwilling to let him go to Newcastle. I don't understand that situation very, very well. Why it is really, really happening like that. But of course, it is happening. Of course, it's one of those that with us, it is always hard to understand. I'm joined by my man Glenn. How are you doing, Glenn?
Not good. I really wish I could be seeing you in good circumstances, but I am not good at all, man. It's, as you understand, as a content creator, it's very tough to do videos when you're not signing players, when you're losing games. I wish I could be motivated, but I'm so... Usually on transfer deadline days, I get up like at 9 in the morning and start doing research of transfers. Today I was just like, we won't sign anyone. I'm not even motivated, literally. So
yeah,
it's been a sad day. And seeing every other team signing players, it's pretty sad.
Yeah, I mean, it's one way we can talk a lot, and it's a bit of kind of boring maybe, But let's start. Let's start off. With December. Lots of positive, steps from the club towards our signings, starting with Dusan Vlahovic. I want to ask you: do you think our window has been ruined by Dusan Vlahovic? Because yes, we've spent a lot of time, around 25 days on him, but then you have Spurs who have lost two of their, priority targets, and they have found two deals within 48 hours. Do you think Vlahovic spoiled our window? I mean, can we use it as an excuse, maybe?
We started this window, we were talking about getting a midfielder, not even a striker. At the beginning of the window, we were talking about getting a midfielder. So it was supposed to be 2 or 3 players anyway before Vlahovic. We got to know about Vlahovic wanting to go to Juventus when? That was like January 20th or something. We still had a full 12 days to act on that and get someone else. It was obvious he wanted to join Juventus. So I don't think that is an excuse for not getting players at all. Even loan deals, even not signing players on loan and all that. We'd already gotten rid of people like Niles and Kolasinac. So we definitely needed numbers in terms of players. So I don't think that is an excuse. He had already told us he wanted to go to Juventus. We should have been moving to any other players. So I'm very frustrated. I don't think that's an excuse at all.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is my point as well. Because, I mean, Newcastle, if you look at the number of times Newcastle have been trying and being rejected, and the number of players they brought in, it just kills many of Arsenal's excuses, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It really does. And let me take you back to December, as you had said. Very good form, we were scoring 4 goals, 5 goals every game, Sunderland, Leeds, Norwich. We got ourselves into the top 4. And we created, imagine like a 3 or 4 point gap between us and Man United and Tottenham. So you've gotten yourself into the top 4. And we've gone out of the FA Cup. We've already messed up the FA Cup. If we had enough players that day, would have brought people from the bench to help us. We messed up the Carabao Cup as well. Those are 2 chances of the trophy. Surely they should be trying to get the top 4 hands down. The only other thing I'm thinking about, Cossy, is maybe they're looking at it like our plan was not to get top 4 anyway. So even if you don't get top 4, doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly. That is why I want us to. That is the question I wanted to pose to you. December, we have a manager, nominated for manager of the month, right? Yeah. We have Odegaard, and we have 2 players nominated for player of the month, not Odegaard and Martinelli. You have a player nominated almost in every category, because I think it was Aubameyang, Lacazette, nominated for goal of the month against Southampton.
He won it.
So that is progress, right?
Yeah.
That was progress. Even after losing 2 games at the beginning of the month, you thought we really progressed very well. And I thought the initial plan was strengthen the side, get top 4. But let me ask you, what do you think is the motive of our transfer business? Many out, no one in. I mean, what do you think is the reasoning behind that? Because I struggle, and I'm struggling to find it.
So the funny thing is that the players that have left, I don't think any of us would miss them. I don't think any of you in the chat would miss Kolasinac. I don't think we are. I've always wanted Chambers to go for the last 2 years. So I'm actually not sad that he's gone. It's just because he's gone and you've not replaced him. That's why it's looking bad. Pablo Mari, we all know the kind of game he had against Lukaku, and he's never been the answer, really. Who else left Arsenal? So many players. Even if Kentia leaves, I don't think any of us would really mind Kentia leaving. So El Name, all these players, all of them leaving doesn't really matter to Arsenal. Yeah, but surely, if you're going to get rid of 7 players, if I'm honest, I also wanted Niles to leave, not this specific transfer window, but I've always wanted him to leave the last 1 year. I think he got too comfortable at Arsenal. I think we can get someone better. Surely, if you get rid of all those players, you're going to get someone in. Especially, as I said, you've already seen what has happened. The reason we went out of the FA Cup and Carabao Cup is because we didn't have players. Liverpool scored the first goal against us. If we had players on the bench, we'd have brought someone in the second half to help us equalize against Liverpool. We didn't have anyone. That day, we had Leno on the bench, 2 defenders, Holding and Chambers, and 6 youngsters. That is not a team that is going to compete for trophies and top 4. Youngsters that none of us have ever seen playing in the Premier League or even in the Europa League, Carabao Cup, none. So they've already made a couple of mistakes. The only way to deal with those mistakes and try and make those mistakes right is if you now try and get top 4. Because if we get top 4, I think we'll forget about going out to the Carabao Cup. If you get top 4, we'll be like, this is okay. And top 4 is very important. You know why Vlahovic refused to come to Arsenal? One of the reasons, because you're not in the top 4. Even people like Dembele. Who is Dembele and Morata refusing to come to Arsenal? Because we don't have top 4. That is one of the reasons why they don't want to come to Arsenal. So getting top 4, they know how important it is. So even if they looked at the beginning of the season and were like, you know what, we don't really want to get top 4, aim is top 6, and we get to the top 4 and they're like, you know, even Tottenham United over us, it's fine, we'll still get top 6. Maybe that was their plan. But if you get to top 4, we are heading into February and you're still chasing for top 4. There's a chance that we have games against Tottenham and United. There's a chance if we win those games to get top 4. Yeah. You know what happened last season when we lost to Villarreal? The last 8 games, no one was bothered. I can even remember Cossy did not even do reactions to some of those games at the end of the season because no one was bothered. We are getting ourselves to the same situation right now. We'll get into April and United will be 10 points ahead of us and you'll be like, you know what, let's just wait for next season. Yeah, you need to be motivated to watch the games. If you buy Calvert-Lewin, if you buy Bissouma, we'll be looking forward to the Wolves game. We'll be looking forward to the Aston Villa game. So much. We'll be like, let's see how they do with Saka. But we've gotten ourselves in a position where you can't even look forward to the games anymore. And the games we have coming up, Aston Villa away, Wolves away, Tottenham away, those games are not easy. Nketiah is not going to score goals for you in those games.
Yeah, it's for me. It's look. You've really said it all, and it's one of those where you think hard. What were we trying to do? I think the point is all the players that have left do not matter, and they actually do not leave a scar. But they if because it is a whole, because there's so many of them, it weakens the squad, right?
Yeah.
Because I remember Arteta being asked about Ainsley, and he said, "Yeah, he's gone to Roma. He's always wanted that, and it breaks us in terms of versatility. We no longer have the versatility there." And after losing him, you looked at the midfield; it was empty. It was literally empty, and we I didn't understand that. But then, lads, get involved in the question as well. How would you rate Arsenal's window out of 10? Glenn, let's move over to the priorities. Who and what were our priorities? First, for me, I had said, because for a striker, I thought it would have been difficult, but midfielders have been flying around. Did you see how people signed midfielders? Continue to Aston Villa, Guimaraes to Newcastle. We'll talk about that because I know it hurt you, and we have not spoken to you ever since then, but I know it really hurt you. But Guimaraes to Newcastle, Bentancur to Spurs,
Van der Beek
to they've been flying everywhere. Zakaria to Juve for €6 million. What were our priorities right from the start? And do you think getting into this Vlahovic stuff, we lost our track of our priorities and we lost track of the window?
Personally, for me, my priority was to get a midfielder, sign a permanent midfielder, and get a striker on loan for the 4 months. Because personally, I know people want Aubameyang to leave, but I've never really sat down and said I want Aubameyang to leave in January. I feel like I rather have Aubameyang in the team than Nketiah. I trust Aubameyang more than Nketiah, so I'd rather have him at least get us 3 more goals, even if it's just 3 goals. So my hope was to get a striker on loan to help out with Martinelli and Lacazette and Aubameyang until the end of the season. And then you get a midfielder who's going to be here next season. But for Arteta and Edu, I'd really like to sit with them and ask them what was their priority, because it looks like they just wanted to get rid of players and then they sign players at the end of the season. And we might need to sign a lot of players at the end of the season, by the way, because Lacazette will leave, Nketiah will leave, Aubameyang will leave, Leno will leave. It's looking like we need at least 10 players at the end of the season. Maybe their priority was just to get rid of players and not sign anyone right now. Maybe try and get a player on loan and all of the players who they wanted to refuse. Maybe that was their priority. But we needed at least 2 players. Let me tell you another thing I don't like. We are fighting for top 4 right now. We know how important it is to get top 4. I don't want players at Arsenal right now to fight for top 4. Players who don't even want to fight for it because they're not going to be here next season. How will Nketiah helping Arsenal fight for top help him? Because he's not going to be here next season anyway. So even if he missed a chance and I'm here crying and Cossy is here crying, Nketiah will not really care because he's going to Crystal Palace in June anyway. If Lacazette misses a penalty, he's not going to be here next season. I know there's a couple of bonuses in here, but it's not that much to them. If Aubameyang doesn't score a chance, he's not going to be here next season. If Leno makes an error, he's not going to be here next season. I want players to play for Arsenal who are going to be here next season. So I'm happy with Odegaard. I'm happy with Smith Rowe. I'm happy with Ben White. But I needed someone else to come in who's going to be here next season. Not because right now we are stuck with players who are not going to be here next season anyway. So how committed will they be? Are we depending on Ketia Lacazette to get us top 4 when they're not even going to be here next season? How will it help them if we get top 4? Nothing at all. So that's why you needed to get rid of those players who are not going to be here and get players who are going to be here. So it's just crazy.
Yeah, I look, I hear you not. I hear you in that really, and you know, I think Arsenal should have focused on one because I think it was Fabrizio who had said that Arsenal will try to get a midfielder by all means, at all costs. We'll get a midfielder. And if an opportunity arises, we'll go for a striker. And that's why I asked you if we forgot our priorities along the way. Because I don't think Romano, however much, I don't think he was lying. Okay? Yeah, I don't think he was lying. I think our priorities were a midfielder. And the initial links were Zakaria, Renato, even before we thought about the likes of Dijon, Kulusevski, and the others, our priorities were midfielders. But we just messed up. Where does this leave us, though? Do you think? Look at Spurs, very motivated under their new manager. Look at United; they have the quality, despite the fact that they've not started, getting those brave performances under Rafranic. West Ham, they do have the quality. I think they have the same quality as we do. The only advantage they have that they have a more experienced manager and players that I think have that bit of experience as compared to us because they played together more than ours. Do you think we are trailing? Do you think we are the least favorite in that top 4 race now?
Yes, I do. United, if you look at United's bench, if things don't work out like they did against West Ham, they can bring in Rashford from the bench and he can score the winner for them. Cavani can come on from the bench and get the assist. Who do we have to come from the bench to help us do anything? Nothing. These teams like West Ham, a team like West Ham has Zuma coming back. A team like West Ham have Ogbonna who will come back from injury. These teams have things to look forward to. Tottenham now have 2 signings to look forward to, and they have a very good manager who can try and help the players integrate into the team, and they've gotten rid of players they didn't want, like Dele and Alli. For us, right now, if Saka gets an injury, we are finished. Because if Saka drops down with an injury right now for 1 month, or Martinelli gets an injury for 1 month, we are so finished. Because you look at the bench, all those youngsters, and yes, we are happy that people like Pepe are coming back, but how much do we trust Pepe? It's the same Pepe we've had here for the last 3 years. It's not all of a sudden we wake up.
And now Pepe is like a new signing, bro.
Yeah, but he'll really take us to top 4 by himself. He's been here for 2 seasons now. This is the third. He can't. So you needed something fresh. These players are already used to this kind of players, and we have so many problems. United's problem is they want a manager and they need a midfielder. That's United's problem. Chelsea's problem, they know Lukaku is not scoring goals. Can we help him start scoring goals? Liverpool's problem is maybe they don't have one. City's problem, maybe they need a striker. That's it. But what about Arsenal? How many problems? We don't have a midfielder. We don't have a striker. Aubameyang problem. Atita in or Atita out. Leno is about to leave.
Yeah.
We don't have a captain at Arsenal. Aubameyang was removed as captain. Xhaka should go. Why is Xhaka playing? Partey is not consistent enough. He's getting injuries. There's the COVID problem adding to that. The defense, if Gabriel gets injured, who comes on for him? There's no one to come on for Gabriel. Like Kroenke in or Kroenke out. We have like 30 problems. These other teams have like 2 or 3 problems. We have 30 problems. How do we start competing with them? So I think we're behind all of them right now. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't agree more. It's definitely one of those windows where we've just made ourselves weaker than our opponents. That is what we've done. How you doing, AG? EGTV. Hope you're doing well, bro. Massive Arsenal content creator. Obviously, I'm joined by Glenn, another big Arsenal content creator. Maurice, there on his channel. Taking some, a long time, but I will be on Glenn's channel. I'll share that video on the community, so make sure you do check us out. We'll be discussing again much of the transfer deadline live. But Glenn, Aubameyang situation. We've talked about it before. The latest is that Arsenal have told Barcelona that they will not be paying anything on the wages of Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. And that deal has collapsed. Okay? What I didn't understand is if he stays, we pay his full wages, right?
Yeah.
If he goes, we pay half of his wages. At the moment he's banished, at the moment Arteta says he won't even be doing basics with us. How do you interpret that? Because I mean, it's one way, again, I'm struggling to make sense of it.
I don't like it, man. I don't like it. And I've seen some fans as well attacking Aubameyang, and I don't like it at all. It's not like Aubameyang is like an Adebayo or a Nasri or a Van Persie who left that kind of way that we need to throw him out by force, because that is what it's looking like right now. It's like we're trying to kick him out by force. Like, Barcelona, you better get that money. We need to take him out right now. I've never seen Aubameyang as that kind of player. I don't see a reason for Arsenal fans to hate Aubameyang. I've never understood that reason. I've never understood why you should hate Aubameyang, because, as I said, he's not like a Nasri. Like, he was our best player for like 3 years. He was a captain. He's always had a good relationship with fans. I don't think he's had a bad relationship with fans at all. And he's always smiling. He's never sad. He's never complaining about everything. I've never seen him doing that. So seeing the club trying to kick him out, again, we have to say, I think something more happened, as we said back in December. There has to be something that happened that we don't know. It can't be because he came late or because he drives a Lamborghini. That's why he's outside the team. For 2 months now, by the way. It's just crazy. Like, surely Aubameyang can score more goals than Kate in the team. Surely I'd rather have Aubameyang on the bench than have 6 youngsters on the bench. And the thing of getting... 3 days ago, I heard that we were going to get rid of Aubameyang. And we were still going to pay his wages. That is what Barcelona had said, that we are going to still pay his wages and he'd still go to Barcelona. And I was like, is Aubameyang that bad of a player that we are going to get rid of him and still pay his money? Surely he can be on our bench and help us for even one game, because that is what you need. That could be the difference between you getting top 4 just one game. Surely he can help us than sending him to another team and paying his wages. The only way I could agree Aubameyang leaving or accept that is if they just buy him from us right now, they pay up the money, and then we move on and we buy a striker. Surely not just going to let him go and not get a striker. And right now it's looking like we're kicking him out, and I just don't understand. Arteta needs to tell us what has happened there. Edu needs to tell us what has happened there. But personally, when I saw that he was going to stay, I was like, great, I'm happy. I'm happy that he's staying, because I rather him than Kate in the team.
Yeah, I mean, Glenn, that is one part of the story. The second part, though, is the reconciliation part. Is it a marriage that is gone beyond, beyond repair? Or do you think there is some way back in for Aubameyang in the squad? Do you think he comes back? Do you think he can reconcile with Mikel Arteta? Because with the latest we've seen, we've seen from Sky is that Arsenal have been surprised that Aubameyang flew to Spain before there was an agreement. The story that followed that is that he had gone for a family trip or something. He's been not training. He's been banished. He's been isolated and all those kind of stuff. Do you think there is a way back for him? Or because we've seen Mesut Ozil, and again, it's the same situation. Ozil, we don't know what he did, but we suffered with creativity problems, and Ozil never made it to the side, right? And with Aubameyang, it's another one where James Ole, he's the only journalist that I've seen trying to provide consistent reports every chance he got. We don't know the full story, and we deserve to know the full story. Why there can't be any kind of reconciliation, right? Do you think we're gonna be in the same situation with Ozil, like where we were with Ozil, where we don't score goals, but Aubameyang can't play. He just can't play. Yes, we're not scoring, but he can't play. Let's let him earn his wages, 350k per week, but he won't play.
It could be like that, but I think it's going to be absolutely crazy if it is like that. The reason why I think he could have a chance back is, one, remember with Alexis Sanchez, when Alexis Sanchez wanted to leave, people didn't actually want him. Like, it was not just maybe Arsene Wenger or something. The fans also did not like Sanchez at that time because he was going to Man United. And the players themselves, the likes of Ramsey, did not like Sanchez at that time before he left. So right now, I think Aubameyang still has a good relationship with the players, like the likes of Pepe, Saka, Lacazette. He still has a good relationship with them. Yeah, I think also 50% of fans have still not given up on Aubameyang, so they are still hoping he can come back and score goals. Because I've seen, like, today when it was announced that he was going to Spain, there are still some fans who are saying, you know what, this is bad. We're going to miss him. You're still our best player for 3 years. There's that. So there's a chance for him coming back. But with Arteta, I don't think he'll come back. With Arteta, I don't think so. So if we sacked Arteta today, Aubameyang will be back in the team with the next manager. But with Arteta, you saw what happened with Guendouzi. Just one stupid error, you're out of here. Saliba, we still don't know what happened. He was out of here before he even played. So with Arteta, you'll not get forgiven. But again, you start looking at players like Xhaka. How is Xhaka forgiven so many times? How many times has Xhaka done these things, but he's still in the team? So that's why you're kind of hopeful.
And that is one thing I don't understand with Mikel Arteta. Like, he's so inconsistent that Aubameyang can't come close to his side, and Xhaka cannot be any far away from his side. So, like, does it make any sense? How many times has he turned a blind eye to the mistakes, to the for me, very, very silly mistakes of Granit Xhaka so many times? But look, for me, I don't want to see him suffer like that. I've been a big fan of Aubameyang even before before joining Arsenal. I really loved him at Dortmund because I really loved Dortmund there in Germany. I was like, yeah, right. When we were signing him, I was like, yes. And when he came here, he didn't disappoint me. Definitely, he didn't disappoint me. We don't know the full story. The reason as to why I wanted Aubameyang for me is I don't want the kind of dressing room stress, because I was protecting my club as a top 4 contender. You need to focus on there. But now we've diluted that. I mean, I would rather know. I would rather know what exactly he did and why he cannot, play in the side. But I would like I'd like to ask this: how would you rate our window out of 10? Because outgoings, yes, we've done that. We've always cried out, for Deadwood to go. I think in terms of Deadwood, yes, we're trying to clear, to clear out. Would you give us something like average 5 out of 10? Do you think we've done some sensible deals?
Was there a window? We didn't sign any players. Was there a window open? I didn't realize there was a window open because we didn't sign any players. It can't be average.
It has been like, it's been like May when the window opens in June, right?
Yeah, it's been like May. Yeah, like one. Like, if you don't know, like the January window is open. Like, if you're not a fan of football, you wouldn't even know there's a transfer window going on if you're an Arsenal fan. I'd give it a 2 out of 10. It's nowhere near average. I'd give it a 2 out of 10. That is because it would have been more, but I'll tell you why. We got rid of Pablo Mari on loan. He can go and get a bit of playing time because he's not going to play at Arsenal at all. Niles will get some play time, or hopefully with the experienced manager with Mourinho in a different country. I don't think Niles has ever been in a different country because he's been like at West Brom and other teams. So he can get some experience in a different country. Kolasinac, finally, Kolasinac is gone, because just seeing him on the bench just gives you, like, you get depressed when you see Kolasinac on the bench. He's finally gone as well. But you start looking at the other players. Chambers, I was happy that Chambers left, but not at this particular time because we didn't have anyone else to play. But I'm happy Chambers left, but he's left on a free. We're not getting anything for him at all, and he had like 6 months remaining on his contract, but we gave him out on a free.
At first, I thought it was just undisclosed, but
yeah,
it's a free.
It's a free.
Yeah, I've seen that. It's a free on. I've seen that on TalkSport.
We are struggling to get rid of Aubameyang, which it looks like they were trying to get rid of him. So even the guys who've gone out, some people didn't want them to go out, and some people have gone on a free again. How many players have we let go on a free? I've still never forgiven the club for letting go of Mkhitaryan for free. I still could not believe it until today. Like Mkhitaryan went on a free.
And you know what hurt me with that Mkhitaryan there is that we wanted that lad is called Diwara. Yeah, we wanted Diwara, and we could have easily negotiated for Diwara. Yeah. We failed, and we gave him in a free, and we didn't get. I was amazed.
Yeah, so I'm going to give it a 2 because we've gotten rid of players we wanted to get rid of. Kolasinac, Pablo Mari, maybe playing time for Balogun, but that's another one I didn't understand as well. I'd rather keep Balogun and sell Nketiah. I didn't understand that as well. Chambers, we didn't get money for it. Niles will come back probably. Pablo Mari will come back on loan after the season ends, probably with more experience. So that is why I'm going to give it a 2 because at least we don't have to see the likes of Kolasinac on the bench. But it would have been like a 3 if we got a bit of money for Chambers or something like that, or maybe sold Pablo Mari on a permanent deal and got money. But there's still a few players who are here that we didn't want. Nketiah is still here. Cedric is still here. Leno doesn't want to be at Arsenal. He wants to go somewhere he plays. He's still here and we won't even use him at all. Granit Xhaka is still here. El Neni is still here. It's a total mess. So I'll give it a 2 out of 10. And I think in the sum, I gave it like a 7 out of 10 or something. So that's a huge drop.
Yeah. Right. I'm going to ask you just as we wind up, just going to ask you about, I don't even if they are all rivals really, but other clubs. I'll start off with Aston Villa. Villa, with the decent squad they had coming into the window, they brought in Lucas Digne, Philippe Coutinho as well, coming in. What have you made of their window? Like, should we be scared as Aston fans because we've stayed right where we were, or even depreciated a little bit? And Villa, with a new manager who's been doing, picking up results even before getting signings of the likes of Coutinho and Lucas Digne, have massively elevated. Look, something to be afraid of there, something to be because they wanted Bentancur, they didn't get him. How would you really appreciate Villa's window?
This is a team that in the last 5 games we've played them, they've beaten us 4 times, correct? 3-0, 1-0. They've beaten us in friendlies, home and away in the Premier League. So there's a team that has been better than us. Yes, we beat them earlier this season, but they had their old manager and everything, who was sacked after that. Aston Villa, Coutinho. I think we've been talking about Coutinho for like 7 years.
Yeah.
We've still not got him. He's gone to Aston Villa. They took Chambers away from us. Chambers is not going to start for Aston Villa, but he's going to come from the bench. Lucas Digne is going to definitely improve them. As you saw, the way they played against Everton the other day was very, very good. Got an assist and all that, set pieces. They look more ambitious than us. That is one thing for sure. I don't think Aston Villa have more money than us. That is the concern. Their manager, I really like their manager because he's going to really they're really respecting the players. They know what he's achieved, so they're really going to play well under him. Look at Jacob Ramsey, the way he's playing right now. Watkins is obviously going to score goals. They have Ings from the bench. Bertrand Traore is going to come back from AFCON. Players like, they didn't need El Ghazi, they got rid of him. Their defense looks good with Digne and Cash. Their goalkeeper is good, Martinez. Their midfield looks very solid. We wanted a midfielder from there, we didn't get it or get him. In midfield, they're looking very strong as well. For me, if you're not careful in the next 2 years, you'll find Aston Villa, Everton, and Newcastle ahead of you. And now what will we say? Because I know the way Newcastle are buying players, they'll eventually get some players that you're like, oh no, they've gotten this player, we're in trouble. Aston Villa as well. Gerrard is not going to live there in the next 3 months. He's going to be there for 2-3 years. If things go well, he's going to add more players. So you can see us fighting for top 7, top 8 with these teams, because we're not getting, are we getting closer to Man City or are they getting farther? I think they're getting farther. Are we getting closer or farther from Man City or from Liverpool? I think we're getting farther. Chelsea, the way they're transferring and their coach, I think we're getting farther. So 3 teams already above us totally. And United will get a new manager. Tottenham in the summer, they'll probably get new players. So luckily, Leicester dropped off a bit, but you can expect them to improve. The likes of James Justin will come back from injuries. So right now, Aston Villa have really impressed me. If I had a choice, if you can just go on loan as fans, I would have gone on loan to Aston Villa right now until the end of the season. That's why I've been mentioning Aston Villa. We have games against Tottenham, United. I've also mentioned Aston Villa 3 times already, because I know when you go there, it's going to be a very tough game.
Right, yeah. I mean, I'm impressed by Villa. I'm impressed. I think, the truth is that the project they are running, like Chambers said, is really visible on the outside. Very, very visible on the outside. Because look at what they did in the summer. Yes, I think they spent strongly. Maybe I could say that, and with under Dane, I think he wanted to find as many replacements of Jack Grealish. He was scared of life after Jack Grealish, but even then, Buendia has started to come around under Stephen Joe Gerrard. Even then, I think Leon Bailey is still a very, very interesting player for them that will really create that kind of competition in the side. And now Coutinho, and now Lucas Digne. I wish, I don't want to say this, but I wish we don't, start fighting for a place with them, because we might actually lose them. This was a not, at least for now, they're not yet our rivals. Newcastle. Bruno Guimaraes. Talk about that. Talk about Newcastle. Talk about Bruno Guimaraes. Because for me, it hurts me, honestly, lads. It hurts me. That I cannot even lie about it.
Badly. We've been, especially, it's not like we've been talking about this player for 1 month. We've been talking about him. I'm telling you, you can go and check Cosy's video, and you sort out by all this video on Cosy's channel, and you go to the 2 years ago. You'll probably find him talking about Bruno Guimaraes, and here we are. He's gone to another team that didn't even want him 6 months ago, and he's gone there already.
A club fighting for relegation. The excuse would be he's a top player, so he wants top 4 or Champions League. Right, that's okay. Yeah. He's gone to a club who will not be playing. For me, they will not be playing Champions League next season, and the season after they will not be.
Yeah. So it was just 35 to 40 million. Just give them the cash, and it's going to come to us. And that was just it. That is what we needed to do. Nothing else, as you said. No Champions League football, no wages or anything. Nothing crazy. It would have been as simple as that. Give them the money, and he'll come to Arsenal, and he'll sort out a few of our midfield problems. We've let him go to Newcastle, and Newcastle were trolling us. The announcement video, they were trolling Arsenal. Newcastle are making fun of Arsenal.
Listen. Who does that? Look, I didn't even talk about it. I thought I was the only person who had seen that. Like, the headlines were Arsenal. Oh my god! Because I had reacted to those stories here.
Yeah. Do you think Newcastle can make fun of Man City? They can never do anything like that. They cannot make fun of Man City or Liverpool. They cannot start making fun of them, because they know they'll face them and they'll probably score 8 goals against them. And they know in terms of transfer window, they can still buy more players than them. But they're disrespecting Arsenal. They are writing things about the newspaper. Arsenal wants to sign Bruno Guimaraes, and then now he's coming to Newcastle. They are making fun of us. I'm seeing Newcastle fans laughing at us. And I'm concerned, because you remember with Man City back in 2009, they bought the club. They had Mark Hughes as the manager. It didn't work out for the first season. As you say, this is a team that might not get top 4 in the next 2 years. That was the same with City. Like, they bought City, and then they bought, I think, Elano, Robinho, those kind of players. I think Man City bought those kind of players then. It didn't work out, but they changed it. They brought a new manager. They brought new players, and they improved. Newcastle will probably not get top 4 immediately, but they'll improve. They've gotten Bruno Guimaraes. Yes, they'll still need to get a new goalkeeper. Maybe in the next transfer window, they'll still need to get maybe a couple of defensive players. They're about to get Matt Target from the Aston Villa, Premier League experienced player. He's been at Southampton. He's been at Aston Villa. They're going to get Bruno Guimaraes. They've already gotten him. Lingard could still go there in the next 5 hours. If they get all those players, I can easily see them finishing in 13th. I don't think there'll be anything about adapting. I think those players will hit the ground running immediately. Joe Willock will be, it wasn't a good buy for them. It just turned out to be not a good buy, but he's going to improve all those players around him. I'm very concerned about Newcastle. They also want to get rid of Clark, I think Shelby. So they're getting rid of the deadwood, and they're bringing in players. Their aim right now is to survive. That is their aim. Next season, they'll try and get maybe top 10 or something, slowly by slowly. But for us, what is our aim? Sometimes it's even difficult to know what. Edu was asked that question at the beginning of the season, and he said we are going to see. He didn't even give an answer of what our aim is. So that is the worry. United, I can tell you why United have not bought players. Ranić is not their manager. They're going to get a new manager in the next 4 months. They don't want to just buy players and then the next manager comes in and says, you know what, I don't like this midfield. I'll get someone else. So they have a reason. What is our reason? Because Arteta is going to be here next season. If you're Arteta out in the chat, forget about it. Arteta is going to be here next season. I'm 100% sure. Whether we get top 4 or not, he's still going to be here next season. So what is our target?
And with Newcastle, for me, it's confirmed. Breaking news from Sky: they have signed in Matt Target from Aston Villa. I still feel like Target has been good. It's good, and going to Newcastle, that's a good signing, really.
It's better than what they have. It's better than what they have.
Yeah, it's better than what what they have. Definitely. So Newcastle, Aston Villa, I've talked about them. I will skip all the other clubs, or skip United because they've not done anything really. And I will move to Liverpool. Liverpool have signed in an explosive player. Like, I got that feeling of envy when they signed him. When United signed in Bruno Fernandes for pennies, I was like, couldn't Arsenal even try? Why didn't we even try to ask? Right? It's that kind of signing where he's good. I've done a reaction on him on 99 Sport, and everything about this lad is a replica, or even apart from I think the energy, but he's a replica of Sadio Mane. They brought in someone who can be an understudy for Sadio Mane if Mane extends his contract, who can be an understudy for Mane for a whole season, and then he steps in and gives you what Jota is giving you. Liverpool, amazing. Again, we're not catching them soon. When I looked at that, how ambitious they've been in this generators window, my reaction was, we are not catching them soon.
We didn't score a goal against them in the last 2 weeks. Next time we play Liverpool in the Premier League, they will have Diaz, they'll have Salah and Mane back. So which one is easier to be there? And Jota will be there. Firmino will be there. We are so screwed, so I can't see them. And these are teams that don't even really need to make those signings. It's just because they were told he's going to Tottenham, and they were like, you know what, let's get him right now. They're improving the team more and more. And this is a team that has been in 2 Champions League finals the last 3 years. They don't even need to do that. Those teams that are above us have all been in the Champions League final recently in the last 3 years. Chelsea, Man City, Liverpool, all of them have been in Champions League finals. We've not even been in the competition for almost 20 years now. And they're still buying more players than us. And it's not, when they signed Lukaku, Chelsea, I was like, maybe Arsenal could not have gotten there. That is understandable. But when you start seeing 30 million, 25 million, you're like, why is the ambition of this club? What are they waiting for? We are not even asking you to sign players that we know. We don't have to sign players that we know. Tomiyasu, we didn't know about Tomiyasu, but he's turned out to be a good player. Robertson at Liverpool, he was a Hull City player. Not many people knew him. Look at him right now. The most assists every single competition. Mane, before he joined Southampton, who knew Mane before he joined Southampton? He now has the quickest hat-trick in Premier League history. You don't have to sign players that you know about. You can sign players that you don't know about, but not even trying. These people are in Dubai, Cossy. We are here talking about them and they're enjoying themselves in that, Dubai. Like Mohammed is from UAE. Please go and tell Arteta to sign players, because Mohammed says he's in UAE. Please, because they are enjoying themselves in Dubai, and we are here talking about them and crying about not signing players. So it's very sad. Liverpool, very good business for them. They've added to what they need in case Salah gets injured or something, and they have many competitions. They can use them all around, and he can play the Champions League as well. These days, they're not banned from playing in the Champions League after joining from another team. He can play. So I'll not be surprised if I predicted Liverpool to win the FA Cup at least this season. I can see them winning at least 1 trophy.
I'll be live on Glenn's channel. I'll take a few comments. Look at Aston Villa and Newcastle getting players ahead of Arsenal. It is, so worried. Thank you so much, Anu, for always following this channel. I'm grateful, and I'm disgusted by the club, because fans like you, when you need, and we need something to hold on to, because Jeffrey says, how are you, Cossy? For me, I don't think Arsenal will sign, any player. They just play on our minds. The latest from Arsenal, actually, is that Barcelona have come out and said and confessed that they want something to happen between them and Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. However, it is still very, very difficult, but they are hopeful. So that is.
I don't want Aubameyang to go. We are not signing anyone else. I'd rather have Aubameyang in the team, so I'm hoping it collapses.
Yeah, and it says I'm really, really disappointed in the Arsenal board. Do you know, Glenn, the Edu and the technical director at Juve had agreed for an 18-month loan for Arthur Melo. I've heard about that today from David Onstein, but the Arsenal board blocked the move.
Why would they do that? I have no idea. Absolutely not.
Yeah,
I thought so. They do making the decisions alongside Arteta because these other guys don't know anything about football.
Because why? You know what I said when I saw that is, if you're going for a player who's young, who can potentially be your long-term target, then why don't you do an 18-month loan?
Yeah, this after the season.
Unless we didn't scout these players, but if we scout them and they fit our system, do an 18-month loan with it's not even an obligation to buy. If it doesn't work out like Ceballos didn't, then you let him go back.
Simple as that, and it definitely improves to what you have at the moment. I rather have Melo in the team than no Melo in the team, nothing at all. So I just don't understand why they're doing that. It's like, as I said, it's like they're purposely trying to self-destruct. It's like they're doing this on purpose just to get some content for the Amazon documentary. It's like they're doing it on purpose, honestly. I'm very, very worried. It's like they're doing it on purpose. You rather just, it's like it's rather they go and step up on a minefield and just blow themselves up. That's what they are doing right now, because going into the next 19 games without players, what is going to happen, surely?
Snai says, why can't we go and get Taremi from Porto? He scored the same number of goals as Diaz that Liverpool have signed. Look, there's so many players that have moved on, and if Arsenal just knocked on their door, they'll be like, okay, let's reconsider. Renato Sanchez was readily available. He wants to sign. His contract is running down. He's going to be cheap. We've been told by The Guardian and The Athletic that Arsenal want to take advantage of these situations of, release clauses, contracts running down. There was so much of that. Why? Interesting here.
I'm telling you, go ahead.
All right. No, it's another one. Just make your comment, then we go to this.
It's one of two things. It's either one, as I said, Ali, is maybe they didn't want to get top 4 anyway, so they're like, even if you don't sign players, we have enough players to get top 6 at least and get back to Europe. Which is, we're looking at our first team with Martinelli, Saka, Smith. That is still a good team with Odegaard. You can still win games. Yes, we're not going to lose every single game. But the problem is, if you're going to fight for top 4 until the end of the season, you need extra ammunition. It's either they didn't want that at all, or it's so hard to understand Arsenal, because it is so hard to understand at all. Or they're totally looking for a player who has specific qualities that they don't want to sign just anyone. Even if they don't have these 2 qualities that he's looking for, they're like, no, leave him. Because that is the only thing I can say about Melo. Maybe they've looked at it and maybe he doesn't have this. Let's try and look for someone. Because right now it's looking like they're trying to get someone so specific. We need someone with this, with that, and without this in midfield. We need someone who's going to score. I'm pretty sure they're actually giving this the kind of number of goals they want. Maybe they're telling us, we want 15 goals, nothing less, nothing more. Exactly 15 goals, or you're going to be so. Right now, it's very worrying. So it's either they don't want to, or they're just looking for top 6, or they're really looking for specific players.
Yeah, it's interesting. But better breaking news is coming out that Aubameyang has refused to come back to London. At the moment, he's still in Spain, and there is still hope, according to Laporta. There is still hope that there is still hope that he will be signing for.
Don't laugh.
Right?
Don't laugh, you're going to cry. I'm telling you, this is going to be a very good documentary. You have to buy it. Immediately it comes out, you have to buy this documentary.
Because, Glenn, now where the point lies, and the problem, actually, not the point, but the problem, is after a player reacting like this, he's already told you, I'm not part of this anymore. Right? Yeah. He's told you, I'm not part of this anymore. Please and please don't incorporate me in this. I'm not part of it. I don't want to be part of it. Just don't add me in this kind of nonsense that you're all putting out. So if he comes back, it's going to be a disinterested Mikel Arteta plus a disinterested Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, who is frustrated that he didn't leave the club and it's going to feel that he didn't leave the club because Arsenal blocked that move.
disinterested board as well, and disinterested
and a disinterested
fans as
board,
well.
right? And now a partial fan base where you have a disinterested, fan base, a part of the fan base. I mean, where it's mad. It's really
crazy.
mad.
You've done so well. I was so happy. Happy this season. You've bought the correct players. Odegaard has done well. Ben White has done well. I think we're second in terms of keeping clean sheets. Ramsdale has done well. Tomiyasu has done well. Lokonga has been okay. Tavares is still knowing he needs to improve, but he's done okay. We've picked up some really good results this season, beating Tottenham, beating Aston Villa, beating Leicester. Very good performances against Leeds, against Norwich, scoring goals. Smith Rowe has been scoring goals. Saka has been scoring, assisting. Odegaard is scoring, assisting. You have the chance of getting top 4, and then you're just like, no, we're not interested. We're not interested. We're not going to sign players. Not this season. We'll wait for next season. So basically, all this work we've done this season, we're not going to be rewarded for that at all. Because, if Wolves beat us next game, they overtake us, by the way. I think Wolves are 2 points behind us. If they beat us, they're ahead of us. So that drops us to 7th.
Honestly, it's I mean, you could call it the kind of excitement where you just forget and fall off a cliff.
Yeah, you got to. It's like they've gone to a hotel, they've been given the menu, all the chicken, all the milkshakes, and they're like, no, I want water. That's they're doing. That's for free. They've been given all those things. They're like, no, I'm just going to drink water.
Yeah, take water.
That's Arsenal.
I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, I hope this is a signal that our transfer window upcoming, because Edu said we want to reach a level where we can sign one player per window, and the player is worth 80 million. They've tried it with Dusan Vlahovic. It hasn't worked out, but let me hope they will keep the trend. That is all I'm hoping for. I hope they keep the trend. If they don't, if we go back to the days of self-sabotage, then I don't know really. I don't know. Oh, okay. This is the last comment I really wanted to take here, and it is from Elder Sozo. I'll take this because it's been and that is the reaction to our window from Glenn. Yeah, that is the public reaction. But Glenn, a few people have taken to Twitter and created a hashtag Edu and Arteta out. Is that the reaction you have? Is that the reaction you feel is right? Because yes, they've really, really let us down, in this one. But is that the reaction?
And that's why I'm telling you, I just don't understand these guys. They'd actually won the fans back after that transfer window in August. I was like, you know what? Edu is good. I mean, they've signed good players. Look at Martinelli is a good buy. Look at the likes of Tomiyasu. Maybe they're actually trying to build something. They've actually won us back for this season, because I don't think any of us expected us to be in the top 4 in January, at the end of January, like fighting for that with United and Tottenham. Now, without signing any players at all, when you have the chance right there, you're only going for one player. You've been lied to about so many players. What happened to Awar? What happened to all these players that we've been lied to since August? Surely. We forgave them for not buying a midfield in August, and you've seen how much it has killed us right now. And then now not signing a player, it's like doing the same mistake 2 or 3 times. If we don't get top 4, I have to say yes. But again, we have to be very worried with that again. If that happens, if we get rid of Arteta and also get rid of Edu, this is another process again of starting to get, I mean,
that is a project gone. That is a project gone.
Yeah, and even trying to get 2 other people in, that will take another 2 months. We won't even have a director and a manager until like July. They'll come in again, and then the transfer window will be over, and then we'll be like, okay, let's give this manager time. He has to wait until January. Before we know it, it's 2030. We've still missed out on Champions League for 20 consecutive years, and we are asking for another manager again. So yes, if you don't get top 4, then you cannot really protect Arteta and Edu. But again, getting another director, that will take another 2 months to sort out. Getting another manager will take a few months to sort out again. And then we'll be here again next season. Will be another waste. When you get rid of one of them, that is fine. But getting rid of both of them, which I cannot really say they deserve to be here after, if you don't get top 4, it's going to be a long process again. So again, you'll have to look at the board and look at it like just sell. Look at Newcastle right now. Fans are looking forward to games more than Arsenal.
Absolutely. Rylan, lads, I'm gonna call it a stream. It's been entertaining. It's been updating. We've talked about all the other clubs around us and what they've done and what they're doing. A bit of breaking news: Jesse Lingard has been told he won't be allowed to leave Manchester United before the end of the season. That is also confirmed. And Giovanni Lo Celso has also joined Villarreal on loan for the remainder of the season. Yeah, that's it.
Every single team is signing players. Good.
Aubameyang talks are still on. That is confirmed as well. Aubameyang, talks are still on with Barcelona. They're back on. We need to. I think both sides realize they need to find an agreement. I'm going to be live on Glenn's channel. Like I said, I'm going to be sharing that video on the community. So make sure you do check it out. Thank you so much for joining me, Glenn, today.
Thank you very much, man. I know it's not easy at all. I can see you are live before this again. It's very hard to just go live and talk about no signings. The main topic is
what has been even harder is it's been the last 8 hours have been dry. Arsenal have decided to be very quiet. They've been dry.
Yeah, nothing at all. Nothing at all.
Nothing at all, which makes it harder. But thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to be joining you on your channel. Glenn Kitely, everything Arsenal. That is where we're going to continue the deadline day discussion. Make sure you join me there. For now, I'll say thank you for joining me. Hit that button. It massively helps the channel, and we will live on. We Arsenal. We Arsenal football, football club fans. We are always there, aren't we? See you then.
Anywhere you go, you belong. Anywhere you say,